Good afternoon, good evening. Hello, friends. This is all compiled information from different books, and this is from the experience of learning. Today, we are going to see the Samkhya philosophy. Bharatiya Samkhya philosophy or Samkhya Darshan is one of the best approach towards proving the cosmos. Let's see Samkhya philosophy. If you see the classification of Indian darshanas or philosophy, you will find it somewhere lies where independent logical thinking. There are all the darshanas are divided into astika and nastika, orthodox and heterodox. We all know that in different videos. Astika darshana is further divided into two different classes. One is independent logical thinking and one is based on Vedic or Vedas, Vedic text or Vedas. So we all have always a taxonomical classification of everything, and definitely philosophy is not the exception for this. So you will find these Vedic philosophies are of two types: Purva Vimamsa or Mimamsa, it is called, and second is Vedanta, which is the end of the Veda, which is actually a speculative approach. If you see the independent thinking, Yoga, Vaisheshika, Nyaya, and Samkhya, these philosophies have totally independent thinking. So actually, it is astic, but it has an independent thinking. So the existence of God is considered in this philosophy very logically, and that is the reason it is a Sankhya philosophy by sage Kapila. Let's see further. Sankhya philosophy, it deals with matter, it deals with the number. Sankhya itself means number. There was a philosophy, and further they found that number is very important. Quantitative approach towards the cosmos is very important. Knowingly or unknowingly, these people at that point of time, they connected cosmos with a very super consciousness. They connected soul with the individual consciousness. In case of Sankhya philosophy, this particular thing is divided into 25 tattvas. The whole universe is actually made up of 25 tattvas, as well as the individual one. The kya itself means to understand, or to know the wisdom or knowledge. The difference between the information and knowledge is very well seen in this Sankhya philosophy. Actually, Sankhya philosophy accepts three of six pramanas or proofs, and there is an approach or reliability in gaining the knowledge. So we'll see 25 tattvas of Sankhya philosophy very well. Many times the question is asked, what is Sankhya, means number, or what is Khya, means to know, or it is a part of epistemology. Though it is not based on Vedic postulates or Vedas, but you will find a similar kind of thing in Rig Veda. See, in the world, it is always found that in different parts of the world, you will always see that similar kind of researches will go on and they will come to the similar kind of conclusions and results. And even the corporate is not exception to that. People will find a Jugaad philosophy. Everybody will find the Jugaad philosophy somewhere. So similarly, these particular postulates of Sankhya philosophy, you can see Shvetara Upanishad, in Rig Veda, in Kaushitki Upanishad, in Chandogya Upanishad, Kathopanishad. Even in Bhagavad Gita, you will find this, or Maitreya Upanishad. It has very rational approach or analysis towards the evolution of cosmos. So it has to, every philosophy there try to put their analysis how the cosmos got evolved. You know, they have not tried to find out the very small things. They have tried to find out the whole cosmos itself. You know, try to do the most big or biggest thing in life, and that is what the philosophies are. Let's see very important point in philosophy. It has a dualism of matter or object is considered. The whole object, any object, or even the cosmos is divided into two important points, two important things. That is, one is Purush and one is Prakriti. Don't take this Purush as a male and Prakriti as a female. No, it has nothing to do with that. It is a terminology they have given. Purush itself is a supreme self. You know, it is, you can imagine it even beyond the soul. That is a Purush. It's a pure consciousness. It is inactive. It cannot do anything. It can only exist, and it will not able to show its existence without Prakriti. Whereas Prakriti is an actual object. Prakriti is a matter. It has a Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. It has a kind of taste, smell, form. It has a kind of what you can say, length, height, like that. But Prakriti also includes mind, which cannot be seen. Body can be seen, mind cannot be seen. So it is a combination of everything what we actually observe, what we actually feel, express, all this is Prakriti. So we always see Prakriti, we don't see Purush. Purush we could see when we go beyond Prakriti. They were very good thinking in identities for our origin of life. Still we don't know where the life originates. We only know that there is a 21 gram is the weight of life. We know only Prakriti. We don't know Purush. I'm telling the generic discussion of this. Prakriti is active, Purush is inactive, but it has a supernatural powers, but it is inactive. It cannot exhibit its power through by itself. It requires Prakriti. There are 25 basic tattvas which are given in Sankhya philosophy, and out of this two tattva, no doubt, Purush, you can say soul, but it is not soul, it's a consciousness. And Prakriti. Prakriti is having object, mind, brain, body, Panchamahabhutas. This is Prakriti. And then there is a Mahat. Many times they ask, what is Mahat? It's intellect. Intellect, which is a kind of wisdom, which is a kind of buddhi we say, and Ahankar, another tattva, Ahankar. Ahankar is ego, self-identity. Okay. And then apart from this, this Prakriti is form of three gunas, three characters, Rajat, Tama and Sattva. We'll see about Rajatama Sattva later. And below that, again, mind is considered as one organ. Mind is one organ. One tattva is mind. What mind think, what mind will think during sleeping, during dreaming position, or during our day is actually active organ. There are five senses: eye, ear, nose, skin, and tongue. which are also known as the Gnanendriya. There are 5 organs of the action, Karmendriya. So we do something by that, that is hands, feet, speech, anus, and genitals. There are 5 tanmatras. Sometimes they ask how many tanmatras are there. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. There are 5 Panchamahabhutas. This bhut does not mean ghost. It means the matter, a great elements of Prakriti. That is space, air, fire, water, and earth. Our body is also made up of Panchamahabhutas. So these are the 25 tattvas by which our whole universe is built. Sankhya philosophy has also an approach that how the correct knowledge or valid knowledge we can get. There are 3 ways to get the valid knowledge. One is pratyaksha, direct seeing something, direct have experience of something. Direct senses, our all 5 organs can experience them. Anumana, logical inference. A is equal to B, B is equal to C, hence A is equal to C. Shabda, that is verbal testimony. Somebody is saying, somebody says after there lot of conclusion and we believe that this is correct Shabda, or somebody say directly to us and we believe with the correct faith on the basis of previous experience that yes, Shabda. So these are the 25 principles in Sankhya philosophy. Believe me, these 25 principles, you mug it up, because these are there everywhere. Every philosophy has somehow mold them in these 25 principles. Some name may be different, some approach may be different, but three dosha, three guna, not three dosha, three gunas are same, organs same, karmendriya same, and tanmatras are same, panchamahabhut, they are same concept. So Sankhya philosophy has logically contributed a lot in the evolution of yoga also. Coming to the what is our inner, complete innerness is made up of, there are 3 things. These are 3, you can say, forces in our internal. These 3 forces, actually the forces of Prakriti: Man, that is mind; Buddhi, intellect; and Ahankar. These 3 forces, they have their own approach towards our internal. And these are 3 vertices of our internal triangle. If mind runs somewhere, the other 2 forces will try to balance it. But if they are not balanced, then there can be aggression, there can be a less of intellect, there can be failures, there is too much of ego, then there can be retreats, there is too much of buddhi and mind is not supporting it, there's abnormality. Believe me, these 3 things are actually the basis of all psychological diseases. You imagine any psychological disease you take and you will find that these are actually connected to this. Mind is wavered, though there is an intellect, there is an ego, the person will do anything intelligently at any point of time. Your ego is too much or very less, there's a problem of identity or problem of over identification ourselves. There's a high intellect, high IQ, there may not be EQ, there's a problem. There is a low intellect, you're not able to survive in the society. The balance of these 3 things is what is known as Kaivalya. Kaivalya is a balance of Man Buddhi Ahankar. If you are balanced, you will find yourself balanced in the society. Sankhya philosophy deals with the matter, objects, number, quantity, and it has a rational approach towards the universe as well as our internals. So intelligent philosophy. Trigunas. This is again one of the three tattvas out of 25. Rajas. It's a guna of activities. It's a chaos, passion, agileness, impulse. It may be good or bad. Too much of rajas may cause a person a more impulsive. Tamas. It's ignorance, darkness, sleepiness, laziness, lethargy, negativity, drowsiness. Too much of tamas is exactly opposite of rajas. So balance of tamas and rajas are very important. That will prepare a one body as a kind of 90% good body. But there is one more, compassion, calmness, positivity, that is sattva. Sage have more sattva. So rajas, tamas and sattva, these three gunas actually balance our body. So not only we need a balance of the internal man buddhi ahankar, we need a balance of rajas, tamas and sattva too. Let's go ahead with the question on Sankhya philosophy. How many tattvas are there? 25. They will give you 24, 25, 26. Who is originator of Sankhya philosophy? Sage Kapila. And what is the active element in Sankhya philosophy? Purush or Prakriti? Answer is Prakriti. Purush is an active. It can be a reverse question, which is the inactive tattva. It's a Purush. What are Trigunas? Given in Sankhya philosophy, Rajatama Sattva. In Sankhya philosophy, what is meant by Sankhya is a number, Khya is a knowledge, or to get the knowledge. What is meant by Mahat? It's an intellect. How many sense organs are there in the Sankhya philosophy? Given eye, ear, skin, nose and tongue. How many karmendriyas are there in the Sankhya tattvas? There are 5: hands, feet, speech, anus and genitals, where we can do karmas by this. How many tanmatras are there in Sankhya philosophy? Tan is actually a body. So tan matras of tan, that is sound, touch, form, taste, smell. 5 tattvas are there. What is the name of soul or consciousness given in the Sankhya philosophy is Purush. What is meaning of Pancha in Pancha Mahabhutas? It's Pancha is 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are different Pancha Mahabhutas? It's actually space, air, fire, water and earth. Thank you so much guys. Please give your suggestions to this video. Subscribe if you like it. I will come with many more videos. Thank you so much.